And yeah, they might think like, hey, why hasn't, maybe people might think things like, I don't know, am I totally wrong? I might be totally wrong.
No, I always
I feel
thought
like
people were
most
looking at me, but then I
aren't
figured
thinking
out
about
that
me.
most people aren't looking at me.
Like, when this comes up on their like Facebook news feed, they think a positive or a negative about like, oh, John and Vicky do these recordings, and
But that, like,
that's fine. I get that because it's in front of them.
In my addiction, I thought everybody was watching me.
Really?
Yeah. It's just self-centeredness. Like, I'm here to perform for the world.
Interesting.
And now it's like, I realize that I have a couple cheerleaders, and then most people don't care, and then there's a couple people that are booing.
I think we have a lot of cheerleaders though. considering
Nana and Pa.
What's happening.
Jordan, are you a cheerleader?
No, but like there is a lot of people that are like, wow, as if you guys like, because I feel like a lot of people are like, huh.
So this would apply to this.
What are those guys?
On Facebook, I went so this morning I woke up. I don't know if you can relate to this.
Like a circus attraction.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like we're a little bit of a circus attraction. Like, that guy was a drug addict, and she stayed with him, and they're still together, and they're doing, and so sometimes, but I don't necessarily think that like unless we're in front of them, they're not thinking about us.
No. Like this morning, what's in your coffee? I feel like you're having a really good day.
Did you press record?
Yeah, for the last 2 minutes.
Sake. I thought you
just going
hadn't.
So like this is an example of like waking up. Like I felt like, I don't know if you feel like this or can relate. I woke up feeling like impending doom. You know, little Chicken Little. You know Chicken Little?
Yes, I know Chicken Little.
Chicken Little. The sky was falling in. Sometimes I wake up like that. So this morning I woke up like, I woke up thinking that there was so much stuff. Like, I felt like impending doom was going to happen, and I just don't want to be found.
Today?
Yeah.
You didn't want to be found?
No. And then I was like, how do you get out of that? Because it's, like, it's just in my head, and it's super self-centered.
Every month.
Oh, my goodness. That's how you feel every month, eh? You tell...
No, that's how I feel. I've told you that.
So my Bible verse this morning, one of them was, give your burdens to the Lord, and he will take care of you. And then I was like, okay, I'll just give it to the Lord. But how do you do that practically?
Put your burdens in a balloon and let them float away.
I think, like, just changing my thinking, like worship music, fellowship, having talk about, you know, recovery, that kind of thing, and then helping someone else. And I remember in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, the founder was in a hotel, and he had just got sober, one of the founders, and he was... in the hotel, his life was a shambles. He'd lost a whole bunch of money in a deal, and he went into the foyer, and there was a bar, like the hotel bar, and the din of the invitation and the noise and the smell, and he was only a few months sober. And then he saw the bank of cell phones. He saw the bank of payphones, and he had to make a decision of, do I have impending doom and stay in that, or do I want to do something else? And what he did, he called churches, and he says, give me a drunk. Do you have anybody that needs help? And that's what he did. And he finally got somebody to answer his phone, and he went to go help somebody in the hospital that the church had as a... Anyway.
Who are you going to... Are you... So,
I'm
not asking you to name...
help you.
I'm not asking... No. Did you think of someone to help today?
I feel like I don't have impending doom because I talked to my friend Joe.
Yes.
And I read my Bible, and then...
So you don't actually need to go help anybody? Because now you've...
I'm doing
kidding,
stuff.
I'm kidding.
All right, let's get to it. Where are we? What's the date? 25th. Withholding.
Do you think that reaching out to people gets you out of your own head?
Yeah. And I found the COVID thing for some of us, I know for me, I'm very disconnected. And so I connect here and there when I have to, but I'm disconnected with most people. Why are you giggling?
Because you're such an introvert.
I'm an extroverted introvert.
You can be very extroverted.
Yeah, but then I pay the price.
But I can be
an unhealthy introvert where I'm not like you went on a prayer meeting yesterday, and I was like, I don't have time for that. And I just sat down here looking at the dogs. Yeah.
It was so good though, the prayer meeting. I really liked it.
That's great. I don't have time for that. But then I am
sending this video to your mentor.
Then I pay a price for the like acting as an unhealthy introvert, because I could be like, nah, I'm zoomed out, whatever that means. I'm just being lazy and unhealthy.
At least you know it.
At least I know it.
And next week you'll be on the prayer meeting call.
No, I'm not making any promises. Withholding, June 25th. Sometimes, to protect ourselves, we close ourselves off from a person we're in a relationship with. Our body may be present, but we're not. We're not available to participate in the relationship. We shut down. Sometimes it's appropriate and healthy to shut down in a relationship. We may legitimately need some time out. Sometimes it is self-defeating to close ourselves off in a relationship. To stop being vulnerable, honest, and present for another person can put an end to the relationship. The other person can do nothing in the relationship when we are gone. Closing ourselves makes us unavailable to that relationship. It is common to go through temporary periods of closing down in a relationship, but it is unhealthy to make this an ongoing practice. It may be one of our relationship sabotaging devices. Before we close down, we need to ask ourselves what we are hoping to accomplish by shutting it down. Do we need some time to deal, to heal, to grow, to sort through things? Do we need time out from this relationship? Or are we reverting to our old ways, hiding, running, terminating relationships because we are afraid we cannot take care of ourselves in any other way? Do we need to shut down because the other person truly isn't safe, is manipulating, lying, or acting out addictively or abusively? Are we shutting down because the other person has shut down and we no longer want to be available? Shutting down, shutting off, closing ourselves, and removing our emotional presence from a relationship is a powerful tool. We need to use it carefully and responsibly. To achieve intimacy and closeness in a relationship, we need to be present emotionally. We need to be available. Prayer for today. God, help me be emotionally present in the relationships I choose to be in. Amen. That's a good one. Amen to relationships. Your friend from Lethbridge came yesterday.
Yes.
And I got invited to go to a patio, and we had food, and we were talking about relationships. She's from Lethbridge. I feel like I've never disconnected from her. And I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in like, I don't know how long. And she was saying like about, what's she saying about us, like as suburbia people or Canadians,
like
where we disconnect from people and we don't need to see them until the next time, where she, like, her heart bleeds when she leaves people. And I was like, yeah, I'm not one of those people. See you when I see you. Thanks for a good meal. But this is a little bit different, where we're actually cutting people off. I know that the highest form of bullying, the highest form of punishment in our country is not the death penalty, but isolation.
Segregation.
And so I think...
What do you call it?
Isolation? The whole.
Oh.
But we do that in the highest form of bullying is ignoring people, ghosting. And I think that we could do that to pay back people in an unhealthy way, but there's sometimes that we just need to end relationships that aren't healthy and cut people off at some level. But then this is kind of like asking us, are we doing it in a healthy way, or are we doing it for our own self-centered good? We need to ask ourselves, what are we hoping to accomplish by shutting the relationship down? Do we need time to deal, to heal, to grow, to sort through things? I think sometimes, we can put people on timeouts. I don't think I put people on timeouts, but
I don't think either of us
I feel I take timeouts.
good at that in like our relationship. We're not so good at the silent treatment in this house.
No. All right. Let's.
But what was the part that you felt is okay? So
sometimes it's appropriate and healthy to shut down in relationships. We may legitimately need some time out. Sometimes it's self-defeating to close ourselves off in a relationship. So I think there's a healthy part and an unhealthy part.
Right. So sometimes we need there's time needed to sort through some things.
And then the whole crux of it is being emotionally present in relationships.
And so where do you think, like, I think for me what's hard is when I know that there's been like awkwardness or maybe conflict or unhealthiness, and then I try to talk about it, but the person doesn't want to talk about it, and then time goes by, so you give the person space because that's what they've asked for or made it clear that they want, but then like time doesn't just heal all wounds. And so I think a really hard thing is when when you come back into like proximity maybe, but then nothing's ever talked about. And so I think that that closing, like, that it is a tool, right? Like, so removing our emotional presence from a relationship is a powerful tool. And then if we actually want to achieve, I really liked at the end how she said, like, if we actually want to achieve intimacy and closeness in a relationship, that we actually need to be present emotionally. And so part of that process of like keeping this as a healthy tool is maybe I do need time to think about something or to process something or take, some steps away from a relationship and think about it. But then coming back to a person and being brave enough, I think it is a courageous thing to come back and say, like, okay, this was hard and this is why I was hurt. And the friendships where I've actually done that or been able to do that, or the other person initiated it, are the friendships that we've been through so much, and the friendship is solid and rooted in, like, there's a firmness. And I feel like that's a place that we got to in our relationship, because you don't just let me go and hide and sulk and pout or whatever. Like, you won't just pretend that everything's okay later. You usually say to me, I feel like we're not connected.
Well, I think we feel the connection. And I think in a healthy relationship, when there's addiction involved, there's a person that's not emotionally connected. They're not available. So I think there's anybody that is in addictive cycles and has, their brain is in addiction and it's been rewired, then you're not available for people. You're not emotionally available. You're not spiritually available. And so I think that's the determiner of, like, am I just giving all my availability and emotions to this person that's connected into addiction?
And that could really be any form of addiction.
Yeah.
It could really be, or even maybe people wouldn't necessarily use the term addiction, but they would use, like, just not emotionally present or escaping, or maybe they can recognize that their husband just works a lot and golfs on weekends and is never around the family.
Not available, not emotional. I know that one of my mentors that we met weekly for about 6-7 years, and there was a point in our relationship where I felt like he was disconnected, and I actually had the courage to say something. And then he due to other circumstances, he's like, I emotionally disconnected from you. And so then we actually got to talk about it. Yeah.
It's hard when one person,
and he connected. He was I didn't mean to, but this is why, and I'm distracted over here, and this happened, and there was a good reason, but I was able to actually bring it out, and I kind of felt hurt about it. And we're not as connected as we were in that relationship anymore, but we're still good friends.
You're not still hurt by it?
No. No, it was just a very quick little thing that we recognized and talked about it.
Interesting.
All right.
That is a good one. I will be probably thinking about that all day.
Yeah. Are we emotionally available?
I talked to somebody this morning who, can I say one more thing? Are
one
we
more.
too long?
Very
what
quick.
Are we
it's
at?
already. Yeah.
I talked to somebody this morning who I met when I was like 15. We worked together. And when I see this person or hear from this person, it's like we've never not been connected. Like, honestly, if they moved in next door, I think I would like see them all the time. You know what I mean? But our paths just don't cross. And so that needs to be okay. I can't force something to happen. And, you know, she has her own life. I have my own life. And neither of us said like, oh, we should get together soon, because we know that's probably not going to happen. I would totally like love to see her, but we just get it. But if our paths crossed, I think we would be very close.
Well, I think that's what they talk about,
and
soul ties, right?
Care about her a lot.
We connect emotionally and spiritually to people.
It's really neat. And so it's not like anything happened. I don't have hard feelings. She doesn't have hard feelings. It's just, she came over to pick up kombucha one time. And we talked for like 2 hours. And so now she's like, I can't buy kombucha because that takes too long.
All right, we're going to go.
Anyway.
Let's have a great day.